tweet like everyone else did from the Ring magazine. I actually thought that that's not true. I thought it was a stunt.
And no doubt about that, there's no question marks. I mean, you look back to what happened at White Hart Lane all those years ago with Michael Watson, and health and safety and the security of boxers.
Yeah, I'm not having that. So let's wait and see. If it's true, that's a shame. You'll have to get to the bottom of it. But I'd heard...
Yes, Conor Benn pulls out of the Chris Eubank Jr. rematch in a stunning last-minute twist, with inside reports confirming an injury behind the abrupt withdrawal. Weeks of build-up, training, and hype vanish instantly. Fans are furious, and Benn's reputation suffers yet another hit, painting him as fragile and unprepared for the spotlight.
Found out today stating that he's asked him for an extension period because he's injured before being ordered to...
Eddie Hearn's announcement hits like a shockwave. The rematch is officially postponed after Benn's sudden withdrawal. The confirmation locks in the chaos. Months of promotion, ticket sales, and fan anticipation now sit in limbo, leaving the narrative of this rivalry hanging by a thread.
But obviously we wanted to come here today and formally announce that Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn has been officially postponed.
Frank Warren confirms what insiders have hinted at. Benn's exit stems from injury. The team's request for additional time signals deeper issues behind the scenes. This isn't a simple postponement, it's a major disruption. Benn's dependability is under the microscope, and the entire rematch build-up now drifts into uncertainty.
And that's what he's coping with.
His camp have written to asked him for a period of time to before they have to defend the title. So we'll...
Johnny Nelson doesn't hold back, insisting questions must be asked. The sudden withdrawal has shaken the boxing world. Concerns around transparency, injury legitimacy, and preparation dominate discussions. Fans and analysts demand clarity, and Nelson's call for accountability reflects the severity of the situation.
Unfortunately, there is going to be... There needs to be an inquiry straight after this, why, what. But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it's...
Adam Smith cut straight through. Expectations were enormous. Benn was the favorite, yet the unthinkable unfolded. The fighter expected to rise to the occasion didn't. Analysts are left baffled as Benn's inconsistency once again overshadows the rematch narrative.
Doing things we don't expect him to do, right? Okay, he was favoured to win. Most of us thought he'd find a way.
Spencer Oliver reminds fans of boxing's harsh realities. Benn's injury isn't an excuse, it's a warning sign. No fighter can enter a bout half-ready. In a sport demanding full commitment, Benn's withdrawal exposes physical vulnerability and mental uncertainty around his preparation.
But he will have seen the doctor, and the doctor will make that decision on whether he should fight or whether he shouldn't fight. I mean, listen, this is the hurt business. You can only go in there...
Frustration runs deep. Insider commentary calls out the core issue. Benn's explanations aren't holding up. A pattern of repeated withdrawals erodes trust. In boxing, reliability and consistency define careers, and Benn is dangerously close to losing both.
I don't like that. People schedule fights and then they pull out, oh, I was injured. Well, if you was injured, you won't.
Johnny Nelson dismisses the wild poisoning rumors as nonsense. Boxing feeds on drama, but facts matter. At a moment where Benn's withdrawal fuels speculation, Nelson's measured stance reminds fans and media to stick to verified information, not rumor-driven chaos.
Something popped up and we said it's fake news that the fight was off and all this sort of stuff was going on about some poisoning, scandal, foolishness, and they tried to shut this thing down. And I'm saying that's fake news. I'm not having that. So let's wait and see. If it's true, that's a shame. You'll have to get to the bottom of it. But I'd heard this yesterday, but I just put it down as fake news. It's not real. So all we can do is react to what we know. So we can...
Frank Warren's irritation is unmistakable and justified. Benn's last-minute exit brings financial fallout and logistical disruption. Camps, coaches, sparring partners, and months of planning are thrown into disarray. Benn hasn't just disappointed fans, he's undermined an entire professional operation. The welterweight once hyped as a rising star looks increasingly unreliable, with promises and bravado evaporating overnight. This isn't just a delay, it's another heavy blow to Benn's reputation.
Well, he's pissed off. I mean, he was a big fight. He's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. And you imagine the cost involved in a training camp. Booking places to set the camp up, bringing the sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers, and everybody, and you don't get paid.
Teddy Atlas outlines the havoc Benn's pullout has caused promoters. Securing a replacement on short notice is a nightmare, leaving Hearn and Warren scrambling to salvage a disrupted card. This isn't merely a missing fighter, it's the collapse of anticipation, credibility, and financial stakes. Benn's absence isn't just inconvenient, it's embarrassing. Months of momentum vanish, leaving fans and media frustrated. The fighter once touted as a contender now looks like a liability incapable of carrying big fight expectations.
Of course, starting with Turkey Al-Sheikh, to find that.
Benn's own comments blend bravado with embarrassment. Talking about taking a soul while announcing a withdrawal over a toenail injury leaves him open to ridicule. The contrast between his talk and his reliability is glaring. The fighter who promised destruction now appears unprofessional and unserious. Fans and analysts see the gap between words and action widening, reinforcing the view of Benn as fragile, inconsistent, and more committed to noise than performance.
You're only getting one Rolls Royce this year, mate. Don't worry about that.
I might do. You never know. might sabotage you again, Chris.
Conor, you said that you're not emotionally invested as much this time round in the fight or in Chris Eubank Jr.
You know what it is, Jamie? I think once you learn about Chris, you learn to understand he is just the way he is. But he has my respect for being one hell of a...
Duke McKenzie spells it out plainly. This matchup isn't just names, it's levels. Benn is entering against a man with superior size, reach, and experience. Hype can't erase physical realities. Benn doesn't possess the tools to match Eubank Jr., and the bravado looks misplaced. Analysts have long pointed out the gap, and Duke captures it clearly. Eubank's physical advantages and ring IQ create a mismatch that goes beyond technique. For Benn, this fight represents a cold collision between reality and inflated confidence.
It's about levels, isn't it, Simon? Do you see what I mean? I'd like to think he could hold his own with Eubank, but I just see Eubank's size just being too much for...
Derek Chisora breaks down why Eubank Jr. is a nightmare opponent, especially for Benn. This isn't about single shots, it's about precision, volume, and accuracy. Eubank's combinations land clean, often in rapid succession. Benn's reliance on hype and bravado collapses when faced with an opponent who overwhelms with output and efficiency. Injuries, excuses, and complaints won't matter in the ring. Chisora's insight exposes a harsh truth. Eubank's clinical style threatens to swallow Benn whole.
Murder somebody, we will not find out, at least for about 20 years. Yeah, but if other people murder people, they don't like to brag about it. He don't brag.
Eubank paints the picture of a fighter with direction and intent, qualities Benn lacks. Eubank Jr. enters camp prepared to dominate, not simply participate. Every detail reflects focus and readiness. In contrast, Benn appears inconsistent, injury-stricken, and drowning in self-created hype. Eubank's camp is built to exploit weaknesses and apply pressure, while Benn struggles just to stay present. The disparity is stark. One fighter is ready to impose his will, the other is barely holding on to the moment.
I think he want to put a stamp on the win. That's what he definitely want to do. He want to put a stamp on it, and I can see it. I can see the way he training in camp, and that's what the trainer wants. You want to see the fighter, man, push extra and push.
Duke McKenzie doesn't sugarcoat it. Benn's confidence is wildly misplaced. Claiming he would knock out Eubank Jr. was unrealistic. Benn's power is average for welterweight, and his technique lacks the precision needed at elite level. Wild, blind shots only expose his weaknesses further. Duke's point rings true. Benn isn't his father and cannot rely on legacy to carry him. Against a disciplined, powerful, and technically sound fighter like Eubank Jr., Benn's bravado crumbles into empty talk.
Not really his style, Conor Benn. Conor Benn's not a massive puncher, not even at welterweight, so really, he's kind of mugged himself off a little bit by saying, I'm going to knock this guy out. He didn't give Eubank enough respect. Like I say, he was throwing shots at several points in that fight, and he wasn't even looking where they were going. It was just like head down and winging the shots over.
After everything, the truth is unavoidable. Conor Benn has left fans, promoters, and analysts frustrated and questioning his professionalism. Months of hype and preparation have collapsed under last-minute withdrawals, injuries, and inflated self-belief. Chris Eubank Jr., in contrast, remains prepared and focused, highlighting Benn's inconsistency. This isn't just a postponed fight, it's a debate about credibility, accountability, and the divide between talk and performance. Has Benn blown his chance at redemption, or can he fight his way back and silence the critics? Share your thoughts below.